death. Asmat, from those persons. Apaiti, flees. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Charanaravinda, Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. No one in this material world has become free from the four principles: birth, death, old age, and disease, even by fleeing to various planets. But now that you have appeared, my Lord, death is fleeing in fear of you, and the living entities, having obtained shelter at your lotus feet by your mercy, are sleeping in full mental peace. Please repeat the translation. No one in this material world has become free from the four principles: birth, death, old age, and disease, even by fleeing to various planets. But now that you have appeared, my Lord, death is fleeing in fear of you, and the living entities, having obtained shelter at your lotus feet by your mercy, are sleeping in full mental peace. Purport. There are different categories of living entities, but everyone is afraid of death. The highest aim of the karmis is to be promoted to the higher heavenly planets, where the duration of life is very long. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 8.17, Sahasra Yuga Paryantam Aharyad Brahmano Viduhu. One day of Brahma equals 1000 yugas, and each yuga consists of 4,300,000 years. Similarly, Brahma has a night of 1000 times 4,300,000 years. In this way, we may calculate Brahma's month and year. But even Brahma, who lives for millions and millions of years, Dviparartha Kala, also must die. According to Vedic Shastra, the inhabitants of the higher planetary systems live for 10,000 years. And just as Brahma's day is calculated to equal 4 million 4,300,000,000 years of our years, one day in the higher planetary systems equals 6 of our months. Karmis therefore try for promotion to the higher planetary systems, but this cannot free them from death. In this material world, everyone from Brahma to the insignificant ant must die. Therefore, this world is called Martya Loka. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 8.16, Abrahma Bhuna Loka Punar Avartinorjuna. As long as one is within this material world, either on Brahma Loka or on any other Loka within this universe, one must undergo the Kala Chakra of one life after another. Bhutva Bhutva Praliyate. But if one returns to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Yad Gatva Na Nivartante, one need not re-enter the limits of time. Therefore, devotees who have taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord can sleep very peacefully with the assurance from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 4.9. Tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti. After giving up the present body, a devotee who has understood Krishna as he is need not return to this material world. The constitutional position for the living entity is eternity. Na hanyate hanyamane sharire nitya shashvato ayam. Every living entity is eternal, but because of having fallen into this material world, one wanders within the universe, continually changing from one body to another. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Brahmanda Brahmite Kono Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhaktilata Bij. Everyone is wandering up and down within this universe. But one who is sufficiently fortunate comes in contact with Krishna consciousness by the mercy of the spiritual master and takes to the path of devotional service. Then one is assured of eternal life with no fear of death. When Krishna appears, everyone is freed from the fear of death. Yet Devaki felt we are still afraid of Kamsa, although you have appeared as our son. She was more or less bewildered as to why this should be so, and she appealed to the Lord to free her and Vasudeva from this fear. In this connection, it may be noted that the moon is one of the heavenly planets. From the Vedic literature, we understand that one who goes to the moon receives a life with a duration of 10,000 years in which to enjoy the fruits of pious activities. If our so called scientists are going to the moon, why should they come back here? We must conclude without a doubt that they have never gone to the moon. To go to the moon, one must have the qualification of pious activities. Then one may go there and live. If one has gone to the moon, why should he return to this planet where life is of a very short duration? Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport and translation to Canto 10, Chapter 3, Text 27 of Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namavom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Here Mother Devaki is continuing to offer her prayers to Lord Krishna and expressing the great relief which all the living beings in this world can experience because of the Lord's appearance. The Lord's appearance brings about fearlessness from birth, death, old age, and disease. And therefore, Mother Devaki is saying, so long, because of the atrocities of Kamsa and his ruling, which was very demoniac, all the people had no peace and they could not sleep peacefully. But now that Krishna, you have appeared, now the living entities can sleep in full mental peace, becoming completely free from all the atrocities of Kamsa and also free from the fear of death. Because by seeing you, even death is running away. So, what do you speak of Kamsa? Everyone is afraid of death, including Kamsa. But that death is fearful of Krishna. Therefore, because you, the master of death, the controller of death, have personally appeared, living entities can now take complete shelter under your lotus feet and feel themselves relieved from the fear of death and have complete mental peace. But otherwise, nobody in this material world, however big he may be, from Brahma to an ant, cannot escape the fear of birth, death, old age, and disease. And Mother Devaki is saying, you may go to any planet in this universe, in this creation, even up to the topmost planet called Brahma Loka, where life may be extending to millions and billions of years. Yet, the four principal miseries of life in the form of birth, death, old age, disease is inevitable or unavoidable. Even in Brahmaloka. But Krishna's lotus feet provides complete safe shelter. So this is the prayer of Mother Devaki. There is a term called necrophobia in medical science. Necrophobia refers to the fear of death. or the fear of dying, or things associated with death. If this uh, state becomes very pronounced and acute, it will transmit itself to a state called thanatophobia. Thanatophobia means anxiety disorder. This occurs because of intense fear of death. It's a Greek word. Thanatos means death. Phobia means fear. So thanatophobia means the intense fear of death. It's an anxiety disorder. Now this can lead to three more experiences. Why this happens? They have analyzed. By and large, because of three experiences. What is that? The fear of separation, the fear of loss of something, and the fear of losing one's dear and lovable ones. So this leads to anxiety disorder. So what happens? The doctors have analyzed when this mental state continues to prolong, then uh, one cannot function normally in day-to-day life. One may even want to quit home and go away. Basically, he does not know what to do with himself. Extreme anxiety. So nobody can avoid these situations in life. There is fear in three situations in life and all our activities. This three is further divided into 4, 4, and 3. What is that 4, 4, and 3? All are fearful situations only. Simply brings about fear. In the first case, first situation, there are 4 divisions, which brings about fear. There is fear element experienced in eating, sleeping, mating, defending. There is fear. There is fear of how to acquire one's food, secure one's food. Whole existence is that only in this world, if you see. And fear of a peaceful sleep. People have no peaceful sleep. You're always stressed, in anxiety. Even family life is very disturbed. Sex life, so many problems. Fear in sex life, fear in defense, security, one's safetyness or collective safetyness. So always fear in all these activities. Whether tomorrow I will get food, whether I'll get a peaceful rest, whether my family is secure, whether I am secure, my country is secure, my nation is secure. Always there is fear. That's the first situation. Then the second situation, again, there are 4 divisions of fear. That is described here in this verse only: birth, death, old age, disease. In all these situations, there is fear. Birth is a extremely dreadful, fearful situation, both for the mother and for the child. You can ask any doctor, you can ask any mother. The child may not remember, but otherwise, mother can tell what suffering the child underwent. So much fear and pain at the time of birth. Excruciating pain, the term is used. It's called excruciating pain. Means the peak of pain which one can experience. I think I had told about this article quite some time back in one of my classes. That what is this pain which the mother is undergoing at the time of delivering a child? They have quantified. They have quantified that pain. Some into X, I forget that units now. Some X units. It means very huge. Now, there was one father who thought, let me at least experience and see how that pain is going to be. So, what he did, he made some medical mechanical arrangement wherein they will go on increasing the quantum of pain into the system, into his system. All, lot of wires, if all the parts they have fixed it, and then they go on increasing the pain, increasing. Actually, you'd be surprised to note how much pain was increased and how much he could tolerate than the mother or the woman. Hardly 3 to 4 or maximum 5% only they could increase the pain, and he said, this is enough and I cannot take it anymore. Just 3-4% of the pain only, of the mother's pain at the time of delivering the child. You can imagine the balance 95% which the mother is experiencing. So it's highly painful. It's a very unpleasing experience. And any small mistake, there can be death, either both for the mother and child, or only for the child, or for the mother, or there can be any abnormalities, either for the mother or for the child after delivery. So it's actually a delivery also is another miracle. It's a miracle. Anyway, so there is great pain at the time of birth. And great fear and anxiety is there for the mother, for the child, and even for the doctor who is operating. Every time it's a miracle if the doctor has successfully delivered one child. Yes. So there is fear, birth. And death is obviously fearful. Obviously fearful. And old age and disease is also setting in fear in the person. Nobody is comfortable becoming old. Nobody is carefree getting a disease or comfortable getting a disease or being in hospital. When am I going to get out of this condition? Yesterday we had one of a known persons who was not keeping well, and the pain was so unbearable. He said to the doctor, I just can't bear this pain. Give me a painkiller. I just can't bear the pain. It was just a fever. But fever also can be so painful, you just can't bear it. It's like head is breaking into 1 million pieces. We have good karma, we are not experiencing all those things. Telling you seriously. Sometimes people experience pain wherein their head is cracking into 1 million pieces. That kind of pain experience people have. Many people have gone through. Even now, there are some who go through. So it's not all easy. Disease is not ordinary thing. You cannot underestimate what is disease. So there is pain. These are the four. So birth, death, old age, disease. Then the third situation, there are 3 divisions. It's the 3 kleshas. Again, there is fear. Adhyatmik klesha, Adi Daivika klesha, Adi Bhautika klesha. Suffering due to one's own body and mind. Suffering due to mind, suffering due to body. Then suffering due to other living beings like a rat bite, dog bite, mosquito bite, corona entering our system. So many things. Or natural calamities, landslides, floods, earthquakes, hurricanes, tsunamis, or famine, drought, so on and so forth. So these are the 3 situations in life where you cannot avoid fear, which will encompass all our situations and activities in life. These 3 further divided to 4, 4, and 3, as we discussed now. Tell me a situation where there is no fear. So that means it is unavoidable in our life. for a conditioned soul. However great or small one may be, there is no exemption from this experience of fear. That's why in the Bhagavad Gita also, if you see, Krishna has already spoken about this point. Mam upetya punarjanma dukkhalayam ashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmana samsiddhim paramam gataha. Krishna says about this world, dukkhalayam ashashvatam. It is dukkha alaya, a residence of pain and misery. It is not sukhalaya, it is dukkha alaya. This entire material cosmos is dukkha alaya. And it is ashashvatam. We try to improve the situation. Why are we wasting our time? Because ashashvatam, it is temporary. It is temporary. You will not be able to make any permanent solution in this world. Time and again, many people have tried in the past, trying in the present, they may try in the future, but they can never change the fundamental nature of this cosmic creation, wherein fear is a characteristic feature of this cosmic creation. It is intrinsic, cannot be separate. So our attempts may be appreciable, but it will not bear any fruit. The 20 items of knowledge which Lord Krishna describes in the Bhagavad Gita 13th chapter, verse number 8 to 12. Krishna describes the 20 items of knowledge. In that he says, to be able to understand the misery of birth, death, old age, disease is an aspect of knowledge. Janma, mrityu, jara, vyadhi, dukkha, dosha, anudarshanam. Anudarshanam means to be able to see that there is misery in birth, death, old age and disease. There is misery. Ignorant people cannot see the misery in this birth, death, old age and disease. But those who are in knowledge can see. So it's a misery. It has to be avoided. But we have no solution. Everybody is trying. From the beginning of creation, this attempt is going on. Till date, 2024, September 10. And it will go on also. Great demons. They're also afraid of death, trying to overcome death. Like Kamsa. Kamsa so much is afraid of death. That's why he has killed all the first sons of Devaki. The first 6 sons of Devaki he killed. Why? Although 8th son of Devaki was supposed to kill Kamsa, still Kamsa thought, who knows? Devatas are very tricky. God is very tricky. Instead of 8th, if he comes as the first son itself, who knows? He's thinking that others also cheat. Devatas also cheat like him. The demons always cheat. They don't stick on to their word. So he was thinking, who knows? 8th son was the prediction, but we can't say. It can be the first son also. Better kill off everyone. You can see the amount of fear. Even in a powerful person like Kamsa. Kamsa has no problem with power, opulence. Everything he has got, but so much fear. Ravana, so much fear. Hiranyakashipu, so much fear. All the 14 planets he is controlling. And still there is fear. Devatas have become afraid of him, ran away. Still he is fearful. Devatas are afraid of Hiranyakashipu, but Hiranyakashipu is afraid of death. So he prayed to Brahma to make him deathless. Brahma said, even I have to die. How can I grant you deathlessness? That's what in the purport Prabhupada is saying. Even Brahma has to die. So demons are afraid of death. Rishis and sages, they're also afraid of death. We know Durvasa Muni, so much he became afraid. So much afraid, he ran up to Mahavishnu Loka also for fear of his life. Even great rishis, forget demons. Even rishis are afraid. Devatas are afraid of death. Indra, so much he was afraid of death, he thought better finish up Vritrasura. Otherwise he'll kill me. Let me kill him off. So Devatas are afraid of death. Rishis and sages, even enlightened souls are afraid of death. Demons are afraid of death. What to speak of tiny human beings of this earth? Brahma is afraid of death. Ant is afraid of death. And all the four principles, the fear of eating, sleeping, mating, depending, is found everywhere in all the 84 lakh species. It is common. The element of fear is common in all the 84 lakh species. So, therefore, the foolish attempt to go to other planets will not solve the problem. That's why it is said, simply by traveling, Mother Devi is making this statement, even by fleeing to various planets. For fear of life, we travel so many places. We wonder what is this go to other planet. It is just like they're capable, they're go to other planet, but you go to other countries. India, there is no treatment. You will rush to America. Immediate flight. Chartered flight. See the fear. Not willing to spend any lakhs and lakhs of rupees to save oneself. Or get one medicine from Australia, 20 lakh rupee, one injection. They're getting fear. You see? Now you can appreciate why Devaki says fleeing to other planets. Meaning the spirit of that is, you can go anywhere. And people are attempting to go to many, many places in search of security, protection. To secure themselves, this, eating, sleeping, sex, defense. Secure themselves from birth, fear of birth, death, old age, disease. You can go to any planet, any country, any advanced methodologies you can try to adopt. You cannot avoid these principles of fear of material existence. Not possible. Jai Krishna Balaram Govitai Prabhupada Vijay. So this fear is an intrinsic element of material existence in a conditioned soul. You cannot avoid wherever you go. It will come in search of you. Just like Brahmastra, once released, it will go in search of the target wherever the target is. You can hide anywhere in all the 3 planetary systems. You can hide anywhere. Brahmastra will come and still finish you up. Brahmastra is like that. In fact, it is said Brahmastra will not return back till it hits the target. Or the person released, he can call back. Otherwise, there is no calling back. It will finish its job and come. Just like Sudarshana, once released, it will do its job, then only return back. There's no question of Sudarshana returning unsuccessful. Eternal success. Unless the Lord calls back Sudarshana. Or the Bhakta can call back Sudarshana Chakra. 2 people can call back Sudarshan Chakra. Otherwise not. We're finished. So this fear is like that. That is why only devotees of the Lord can overcome fear because of 6 following reasons. What are they? Because devotees are in full Krishna consciousness, they are completely fearless. They are living in a transcendental state, not in a material state of existence. They are living in a transcendental state in the material world. Therefore, they have no fear of death or no fear of any kind. They don't know what is fear in life. A devotee or a Vaishnava means he does not know what is fear. He has never experienced fear in life. That is the state of becoming a devotee of the Lord. Second reason why they are fearless, because the devotees are not in bodily consciousness. So death affects only the body, bodily situation, not the soul. The devotees are the perfect self-realized souls. Therefore, there's no question of fear of death for them. Because they're not in bodily concept, bodily consciousness. So they have no fear. Third reason, they have full faith in the protection of the Lord. Rakshe sthiti vishvasaha. They have full faith in the protection of the Lord. Hmm. In the Bhagavatam, there are many uh, terms used in this regard about the Lord's unfailing protection, infallible protection. What is that? Krishna is referred as Anatha Bandhu, Anatha Vatsala, Anatha Tarana. So these three terms are used in addressing the Lord in different places in Bhagavatam. Anatha Bandhu means one who is the shelter of the helpless, one who is very concerned and very dear to the helpless or shelterless, and one who can easily make you cross over the fear of helplessness. Hmm. Fear means a situation of helplessness. You don't know where to go, where to take shelter of, where is the resort. So the Lord is Anatha Bandhu, Anatha Vatsala, Anatha Dharana. So devotees know this. They can immediately run to the shelter of Krishna's lotus feet and clasp his lotus feet to become fearless completely. Then the fourth reason of the devotee's fearlessness is because they are not attached to the body. Attachment to the body brings in fear. They're not attached to the body. Hmm. Krishna describes in Bhagavad Gita 18th chapter, this body is just a yantra. Yantra rudhani mayaya. Krishna said this is just a yantra machine. So when the machine is damaged, you may repair it or discard and take a new one. Like a car. Prabhupada many times gives this example. Like a car is damaged, you try to repair it, it is irreparable, discard and take a new one. So devotees know this body is nothing more than a vehicle. So they have no fear of death. Death is the body is completely damaged, just quit this body and take on another body if needed. Otherwise, go back to God. Don't have to take another body also. So they're not attached to this body. So therefore, they're fearless. Then the fifth reason, the devotees are fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness, so much so that they become indifferent to the bodily situation, bodily needs, bodily demands. Security is a bodily demand. Safetiness is a demand of the material body or one in material consciousness. But because devotee becomes indifferent to the body, callous or careless, either way you take it, because of their full absorption in a transcendental situation, full absorption in Krishna, Krishna consciousness, they become indifferent. Death, okay, that's called indifference. They become indifferent. It is of no consequence. That there's, it is not a subject of discussion for a devotee. Death, fear is not a subject of discussion for the devotee. So he can rise to that state of transcendental consciousness. So Krishna consciousness can award you that state of existence. Then the most important reason for devotees being fearless, the sixth reason, they are very intelligent. How? They know the art of avoiding death. How? They know the technique of avoiding death. How? Because this is described in the Bhagavatam, 1st canto, 16th chapter, text 7 and 8. What is the devotee's intelligence? Supra intelligence. The secret is mentioned. It is an open secret, but people don't know. But even if they know, it may not work because there is condition applies. What is that? To call Yamaraj, invite Yamaraj to take part in Sankirtana and Krishna Katha. And Yamaraj likes to be invited for Krishna Kirtan and Krishna Katha. So the sages of Naimisharanya, along with Sutta Goswami, they invited Yamaraj to take part in the discourse of Srimad Bhagavatam, which they plan to start as a 1000-year yagna instead of the traditional yagna with firewood. They thought we'll do 1000-year yagna of hearing Bhagavatam. So it is such an important thing to sit and hear Bhagavatam. And they invited Yamaraj. And so long Yamaraj is there, Sutta Goswami says there is no fear of death. See, I'll read this verse. What an important verse it is. So Shaunaka Rishi, on behalf of all the sages, addressing Sutta Goswami. O Sutta Goswami, there are those amongst men who desire freedom from death and get eternal life. Two things: to get freedom from death and to get eternal life. They escape the slaughtering process by calling the controller of death Yamaraj. The controller of death is Yamaraj. So Yamaraj only next to me. How can death come? Death only is standing next to me, no? He's an invitee. Where is death separately going to come? Already death has come, standing next to me. He is my guest. Then, as long as Yamaraj, who causes everyone's death, is present here, Shaunaka Rishi is saying, no one shall meet with death. The great sages have invited the controller of death, Yamaraj, who is the representative of the Lord. Living beings who are under his grip should take advantage by hearing the deathless nectar in the form of this narration of the transcendental pastimes of the Lord as recorded in Srimad Bhagavatam. So that is why the more we hear Bhagavatam every day, we approach deathlessness, fearlessness. This is the declaration of Bhagavatam. This is the secret that devotees know. So every day Yamaraj comes for a Bhagavatam class. You don't know. You don't see. Seriously. Of course, a pure devotee must invite. You invite, he is not going to come. That is also there. A pure devotee must invite. So Prabhupada is there on our behalf, inviting Yamaraj every day for the Bhagavatam class. He is attending. Sometimes we don't attend. So Yamaraj is attending Bhagavatam. There are many mysteries like that. Some more are there. Maybe another time I will share. So Yamaraj is also one of the participants in the class. He is very happy to hear about Krishna. Otherwise, you have to make all arrangements for security. Self-security. So much the entire material life means all the time working for securing, eating, sleeping, mating, defending, avoiding three kleshas, avoiding birth, death, old age, disease, pain and misery. What all we are doing. Day and night, what is work for a karmi? This is only the work. How to avoid fear in life. Day and night is working for that only. Why is he earning money? To avoid the fear of no salary, no money. Why money? To avoid the fear of not being able to procure food grains because of no money. And for that, you have to work. For that, you have to study. For that, you have to go to college and school. Everything is linked with the element of fear. Of subsistence, fear of life. So the whole material advancement, material civilization is aimed at reducing pain from all these things. Little success they have, but they cannot overcome. So much effort they're trying, they're putting in. Just like somebody was telling that one patient, he has told the doctor to cut off the connection of the brain to the nerves which passes the signals. Then there is no more pain. One patient has done that. So, because pain is an experience, it's a signal which is sent to the brain. There are nerves which are which are bridging our emotions to different parts of the body. So you cut off those connections, those signals, no more pain. So you become painless. Then hoping that you will become fearless. But that leads to another serious problem. Now what happens is, suppose there is a cut in the finger, a deep cut. Blood will start coming, this terrible pain. And that signal goes to the brain. The signal goes to brain, then what will the brain do? It'll trigger the mechanism to clot the blood. Pain will stop because the blood oozing also will stop. So you are saved in two ways. But if the pain is not there, and that because there is no pain, the signal will not go to the brain. Then the brain will not send the signal to for the blood to clot. What will happen? The blood will go on pouring, oozing, finished. Such a dangerous thing. So you try to solve one way, you get complicated in another way. Like this, so much attempts are being made. You cannot avoid the fear of pain. So the mystery of overcoming death is to get out of bodily concept of life. Fear is actually a trap. The fear of emerging from birth, death, old age, disease is a trap. Actually, there is no fear in spiritual existence. In the platform of self-realization, in the platform of Krishna consciousness. So, therefore, the mystery in overcoming death is simply to get out of the bodily concept of life. That's all. Then you're truly conquered death. Nobody is aware of this fact. Nobody is aware of this fact. They have no idea. It's a concept trap. Otherwise, the soul is always in a liberated state. Asungoyam Purusha, the Vedas say. Asungoyam Purusha, the soul has nothing to do with this body. And death and birth is for the body, not for the soul. So when you are detached from this body, even being within the body, you are liberated from all kinds of fears. But this is possible only in the state of Krishna consciousness. So because of the attachment to this gross and subtle body, and because of the separation from this gross and subtle body, there is fear and there is pain. When you're detaching yourself from this body, there is pain. There is fear of the next situation. Fear of within this body, fear of what the next situation is going to be like. But for a transcendental person who's in full Krishna kindness, there is no fear. Because he knows, as Prabhupada is saying here in the purport, Yad Gatva na nivartante, the devotee goes back to Krishna, he doesn't return back to this world. Tyaktva deham punarjanmanaiti. There's no rebirth for the devotee, so he has no fear. Even if he's in the material world, because he's out of bodily concept, even within this body, even within this world, he is free from fear. Because he is not trapped by the bodily concept of life. That Krishna says is Dhiras Tatra na Mukhyate in Bhagavad Gita. Such a person is Dhira. He is a devotee of the Lord. Stop here. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.